അമ്മമ്മ പറയുന്ന അങ്ങോട്ട് അങ്ങോട്ട്
ചാറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം.
morning to all. Hello, sir. Hello, Gopal.
Good morning, Ajahn.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
morning.
morning,
Good morning,
Father.
sir. Good morning.
Morning,
Good
sir.
All of you.
Morning,
Good
Father.
Morning, Father.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. This is Saturday. I am very happy to see you. I am Father Abraham Talotil. I telephoned you. I didn't meet you.
Good morning and thank you, Dr. Abraham.
Yeah. And
So we have 261 participants now.
we will open for all after 5 minutes. Now it is 9:55. By 10 o'clock or 10 to we can open for others, those who are not registered also. We have sent a message to all schools that yesterday some schools requested due to some power failure or the net problem, they couldn't join. So we shall wait. Abraham sir, total number of registered participants are how many? Total registration today? Balaval sir?
പോയി അത് എന്റെ കാണിക്കുന്ന അമ്മ
don't have the correct figure. Balaval sir has it.
Okay, okay. I will have.
ദാ ഇത് കണ്ടോ അത് മേളത്തെ പാനലായി ഇറങ്ങി വരുന്നു.
All of you, please keep on mute. Otherwise, it will be a disturbance for us. So we have 300
Acha.
participants now.
This session registered 300 participants, above 500 for the next 2 sessions.
Okay, now okay. So you can open, sir, for all. You can send for the public.
Okay, I sent.
Those who are not registered. No, it is.
So I'll tell that 150 seats available.
No, you can say 200. 200 seats are available. Then only. Otherwise, they may think that it will be 150 will be filled.
So shall we begin?
We shall start.
Okay. Good morning, all of you.
Abraham, sir, just interrupting you. DPS school is our member school from last week onwards, and this resource person, the principal of the DPS school, and we have not have any direct contact also. You can welcome, and on behalf of our Sahodaya, you can welcome to our all activities, the DPS.
Okay. Yeah, very good morning to all of you. Let us start today's program with a prayer song. So I invite Sneha Sajid, one of our students, to open with a prayer song.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
ഉള്ളിലെനിക്കു നിറയണം സ്നേഹത്തിൻ ഉള്ളികൾ നീക്കമില്ലാതെയെന്നും ആരിലും നന്മ കാണുവാൻ കഴിയണം ആരും എന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം ഉള്ളിലെനിക്കു നിറയണം സ്നേഹത്തിൻ തുള്ളികൾ നീക്കമില്ലാതെയെന്നും ആരിലും നന്മ കാണുവാൻ കഴിയണം ആരുമെന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം അന്യ നന്മയ്ക്കായി പ്രതിഫലം കൂടാതെ എന്നും പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ തോന്നിടണം സത്യവും ശാന്തിയും ജീവകാരുണ്യവും നിത്യവും എന്നിൽ പുലർന്നിടണം ഉള്ളിലെനിക്കു നിറയണം സ്നേഹത്തിൽ തുള്ളികൾ നീക്കമില്ലാതെയെന്നും ആരിലും നന്മ കാണുവാൻ കഴിയണം ആരുമെന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം എല്ലാ മനുഷ്യരും സോദരരാണെന്ന നല്ലൊരു ബോധം ജാതി മതധന യാതൊരു തൃപ്തിയും കാട്ടിടാതെ ഉള്ളിലെനിക്കു നീക്കമില്ലാതെന്നും ആരിലും നന്മ കാണുവാൻ കഴിയണം ആരുമെന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം ആരുമെന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം ആരുമെന്നുറ്റവരായിടണം.
Thank you, Sneha. I am Abraham Karikam, Chairman of Karikam International Public School. And our co-host is Cynthia Rajan teacher from our school. As the Vice President of Kollam Sahodaya, I'm so happy, first of all, to welcome DPS school to our family, to the fold of Kollam Sahodaya, which is a prominent Sahodaya in the state of Kerala. And our President, Father Abraham Talotil, Secretary Balagopal Sar, and executive members are all here. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this beautiful morning and to the second day of our teachers training program. As you already know, we have been leaving no stones unturned in the past year to take our students and the whole academic community of our schools with us. We were the first in the state to conduct the online Kalolsav, our arts festival, where about 3,000 students participated, you know that. So like that, we are always in the forefront in Kerala to lead our students and our teachers and the whole academic, the family of Kollam Sahodaya and the community to take them with us. And we snatch every opportunity to give trainings to our faculty members. So this is another example for it. And today we have a wonderful personality and an extraordinary personality with us, as I understand from her biodata. That is Madam Abak Chatterjee, the principal of DPS school. With immense pleasure, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you to today's program. As you know, today's topic is about the style of teaching and learning. Style shows the man. That is a saying in English, because the most important thing in our life is style. You know, Kalidasa is writing about life. Shakespeare is writing about life. They all write in words, but the style is different for various writers. Though the weapon that they wield is the wordy weapon, the style is so different. So that makes all the difference in life and literature. So this is so important a topic for us teachers. All of us have to understand the importance of difference in style of teaching and also learning. So for me, this is the most important topic for all teachers, because Indians have done a lot of study on Ridi Shastra or stylistics. Madam Abak Chatterjee will be dealing with this very important topic today, and I am sure you will all be blessed by her class. So may I welcome our President, Father Abraham Talotil, who is the Director of Brook International School, and our Secretary, Balagopal Sar, Principal of BRM Central School, and all our members who are attending. Let me introduce Madam Abak Chatterjee to you. She has an MA in English Literature and MEd. Later, she did strategic leadership for schools in changing environment from IIM Ahmedabad. She is, as I told you, present principal of DPS Kollam. She was principal of DPS school Durgapur before. And even before that, she was the principal at Vibjor High, Bangalore, and KMV Red Hills High, Bangalore. So she is a CBSE master trainer of English and also CBSE resource person for other topics, had been CBSE city coordinator of Bangalore North District, and she headed a team of 6 members to rehaul the CBSE English Literature and Language module for teacher training. She had the privilege of heading a team of 4 members, again to rehaul the teachers' module pedagogy on language for CBSE Diksha platform. A passionate teacher and academician, she has visited more than 15 countries. So we have, as I told you, an extraordinary resource person today morning. On behalf of all of you, on behalf of the whole Kollam Sahodaya family, I extend a warm welcome to Madam Abak Chatterjee. Thank you. Machan, would you like to say anything or?
Sir, good morning to all. Today, a beautiful day, even though there is yellow alert in our neighboring districts. For us in Kollam districts, sun is shining, as well as all of us are attending a section that is professional development program. The caption or the title itself denotes that all the teachers, all the principals, all the managers must be professional. What we mean by professional, that is very important. The professionalism is lacking day by day. Some of are thinking it is for salary, it is for something other than the daily routines. This concept we should change. That we are trying on behalf of Kollam Sahodaya, we are trying to inculcate in all the teachers that you are good professionals. You have to improve your professionalism. That is the motto of these sections, and we have a nice, very effective faculty resource person, Abak Chatterjee, and I am very glad to see. I am the first time I have already talked to Ms. Chatterjee, but this is the first time we are seeing through Zoom up. But it is that we have promised that we will visit her in her school, but due to lockdown we couldn't do that. And I am in a special way welcome Abak Chatterjee to this section, especially this important topic, to handle the important topic. I welcome and thank Dr. Abraham Karikam and team for hosting this program and conducting this this in a fine way. And I would like to ask a sorry and excuse to all the participants and those who couldn't join. Unfortunately, we were thinking that this platform is for 500 people, but it is now many are trying to joining and they couldn't because it is limited to 300. So Abraham sir, if it possible, could you upgrade this? Otherwise, I can, if all agree, I can in 1 minute, we can change to the next, I will send, or the second meeting link is there. If you join in the second meeting link, 500 people could join for this meeting. There is no problem.
Achan, I think I am stuck on 300 because this is the URI site. I cannot do anything on this to upgrade. So
Sir, could we manage today's next section link is there? That I can manage here, I can host here and everything. 500 people can join. നമുക്ക് ഇത്രയും നല്ല വിശേഷപ്പെട്ട ഒരു അതിഥി ആയതിന്റെ പേരിൽ മറ്റവർക്ക് ചാൻസ് കിട്ടുന്നെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്താൽ നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഈ സെക്കൻഡ് ലിങ്കിലോട്ട് ഒന്ന് റീജോയിൻ ചെയ്താൽ മതിയാവും. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുന്നോ? സാറിന്റെ പെർമിഷനോടെ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് യുവർ പെർമിഷൻ.
Yeah, that's all. But I am doing it on YouTube also, so that it will be recorded and showing on YouTube and later in Facebook. So
okay, then we shall. Then it will.
So for today, since now if we create another link, it will be confusion. It will cause confusion. Okay. So I have already shared the YouTube link to all the groups. Okay. Those who fail to join directly, they can use the YouTube link.
Yeah.
Now it's better. We will go ahead with this platform.
Okay. We will. I do agree. So because I am getting some messages. That is why I have a humble request to all. I have a humble request to all. Please don't scratch on the screens or your mobile phones or your now. Otherwise, Abraham sir, you can annotate. You inform your teachers or the Abak Chatterjee can annotate there in the Zoom app. So nobody can make scratches on the screens. Now,
we will do that.
Sir, I have already sent one message to the host.
Yeah, okay.
How to do
Yes, sir,
that?
please do. Annotate. Okay. Okay. On behalf of Kollam Sahodaya, I am very proud and happy to welcome Abak Chatterjee and Dr. Abraham Kerikam and team and all the principals, all the managers, all the teachers who are present here. May God bless you and have a nice day. A fruitful conference. Thank you. Sir, Abraham sir.
Balagopal sir, you want to say something?
No, sir, let us start. Let's start the function. Okay.
So with pleasure, I invite Madam Abak Chatterjee to take control.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And before I start the session, I must thank for the Dr. Abraham and Mr. Balagopal, for inducting me and my school into Kollam Sahodaya. And I am audible.
Continue, ma'am. Continue. It is audible.
I request everyone to keep your sound button on mute. Please mute the mic. So as I was saying that I thank all of you for inducting me in this, and I welcome each and every one of you who is here today. And it is my pleasure to be speaking to you. And for the first time, I will be speaking to a lot of people from Kollam Sahodaya. Now, I am new to Kerala, but I'm not so new to Kerala because I have come here as a master trainer of English. I think some 2 years back, if my memory serves me right, it was 2019. And
excuse me, madam, your video is not on, ma'am.
My video is on.
But
my video, actually you can see the slide.
Yeah.
And my video is on. If you can check DPS Kollam principal, you will.
No, it is only welcome. It is not moving.
I have not started. I'm just talking to you, just welcoming all of you. So you can pin my video if you want to see on a larger screen. I am there. My video is also on. Just hunt for DPS Kollam principal. I'm there. So as I was saying that it is really a pleasure to be amongst all of you. And as I was saying that it's not my first time in Kerala. I think I have been here as a tourist not less than 3 times. And yes, I have come here, I think it's 2019, if my memory serves me right, as the master trainer of English for the new English language and literature. Before I begin, Mr. Balagopal, I want one information. What is my time limit? This is something which I had forgotten to ask you, if Dr. Abraham or Mr. Balagopal.
1 hour, 30 minutes, ma'am.
So we start at 10, by 11:30, I should wind up. So I'm going to accordingly time myself. So anyway, I have been doing quite a few of these workshops through online, though I'm not very comfortable, and I always tell myself that I am not really very tech savvy. And in fact, I say that I am a tech dinosaur. So I have someone from my school, Asha, who's going to assist me with the PPT. Now, Asha, can we go back to the first PPT, first slide, please? Back to the first slide. Yes. So the topic today is teaching and learning styles. Now, when I talk about teaching and learning styles, before I start and really embark on what I'm going to say, because believe me, what I'm going to say is not going to be new for you. Most of you have been teachers for a very long time, and I'm sure you have certain styles, you have certain techniques, certain ways of taking your class. So, and there are certain techniques which I'm going to talk about, which you must have read when you have done your BEds or MEds or even TTC. We all know it, or maybe we do not know the actual names, but we know how it goes. So it is very important for us to understand one thing as a teacher, even before we start teaching, is being compassionate. I think all your teaching styles will have a wonderful effect if you are a compassionate human being, a compassionate teacher. That is something, which has held me in good stead all of my life, that I have been a very compassionate person. As far as I might not be a very compassionate person as a principal, but I have been a very compassionate person as a teacher. So that is what, and if we do not judge our students, not label our students, this is a bad child, this is a slow learner, this child is horrible, this child does not listen, this child has a lot of problems. We are constantly labeling our children. So I can have the best teaching styles in the world, but I will fail as a teacher if I am judgmental, if I'm labeling my children, if my interpersonal relationship with my children and then a bonding does not grow. So even before I have seen in my life as a student, as a teacher, and as a principal, I have seen that there are many teachers who do not have huge degrees, but they are excellent teachers. And I have seen many with a lot of degrees, but they have not been very good teachers. They might have the knowledge, but what is the work of a teacher? Can anyone tell me? Let's have a little bit of an interactive session. Can you raise your hand? If you raise your hand, Asha can check you. And there is a way to raise the hand. There's a reaction. I suppose you know. If you look down at the button, you will see there is one which is known as reactions. So if you put a thumbs up, maybe we can ask you. Is there anyone with a thumbs up? Asha, can you see anyone with a thumbs up?
Ma'am, extremely sorry to interrupt you. Can you please stop sharing now and do it again?
Okay. Asha, can you stop sharing and start again, please? Start sharing again.
This time you can disable annotation, ma'am. Please click on the three dots there.
Asha, can you disable the annotation?
I'm checking, ma'am.
Okay, three dots, not there. Right side, right side. Disable annotation. One option is there.
That's on top. Annotation. The annotation.
Okay, ma'am, spotlight the resource person and pin.
Text.
If you want to see me, you go to the resource person, DPS Kollam principal, and pin over there. Then you can see me.
Okay.
Can I start again? Okay. Now, coming back to this, as I was saying, that it is very important for teachers to create a bonding. Because if the bonding is not created, my knowledge will not be transferred. That is a key rule of being a good teacher. I can have the best techniques, I can have the best education, I can have wonderful knowledge, but that is not what a teacher is all about. A teacher is all about transference of knowledge, transferring my knowledge, what I have, to my pupil or anyone who's listening. Even you are listening to me right now. So what I am going to talk about, if I cannot transfer my knowledge or transfer my thought process to you, I fail as a teacher. So I always tell whichever congregation of teachers I meet, I always say this first: create a bonding between yourself and your students. When you create a bonding, the transference of knowledge becomes way easier, way easier. So with that, I start with the PowerPoint slides. Asha, can you go to the third slide, please? Now I will start with the teaching styles. Now, there are ample number of teaching styles. There is no dirt. You know, every psychiatrist, every psychologist, many celebrated teachers, they have all come up with wonderful teaching styles. All right. But there are 5 teaching styles which are very, very important for you and me to know. And these are, I will start with those. There, I'll talk about 5 teaching styles first, and I will discuss those one by one and enumerate those. Next, Asha, please. The 5 common teaching styles. The first is the authority or the lecture style. This is a teacher-centered free education system. Frequently lengthy lectures, one-way presentations, just now what I am doing. It's almost an authoritarian or lecture style. And this is a very, very obsolete style. If you remember, as I understand all of you are from CBSE schools, I'm sure you remember the CCE process. Do you remember the CCE process? I'm sure you do. Now, when the CCE was brought in, this is the first style which was trying to, people were trying to break this, that we have to get out of the system of the authoritarian lecture style, because this is not going to help the children. You know, there are many teachers who take immense pride in saying that when I enter the class is absolutely quiet. When I teach, there is pin drop silence in the class. My children always behave properly. Think again. Are they listening to you? They might be quiet. They might be absolutely quiet. They might be, awestruck by the way you are teaching. But whatever you are teaching, is that knowledge getting transferred to the children? You know, I always preferred and I always tell, I've been a principal for the past 10 years, and I have always been telling my teachers, have a lively classroom where children talk to you. Do not make them passive listeners. Make children talk to you, question you. Why are you so scared? Question you. You should know, if you know your substance, what you're teaching in the class, what you're delivering in the class, there is no reason for you to ask your children to keep their mouths stitched up. Think again. You know, it is very easy to say, I can make my children keep quiet with one stare, one. Think again. Are you being a diplomatic teacher? Are you being a democratic teacher? Or are you being a Hitlerish teacher? You have to think. So if you are being a Hitlerish teacher, is it going to work out? You know, here right now, if you notice, what I am doing is totally a lecture style. You are just passive listeners. Now, there are some 250 odd people, maybe teachers sitting here, teachers, managers, principals, etc., etc. Mr. Balagopal, how many approximately are there today in the meeting?
300, ma'am. 300.
300. Thank you, sir.
That is the maximum number. Others are watching over the YouTube.
Okay. So these 300 people, how many of you are actively listening to me? How many of you are actively listening to me? I can say, do you understand a little bit of Hindi? Then maybe I can say a little bit of Hindi once in a while. दावा के साथ मैं बोल सकती हूँ कि maybe 100 people are listening to me. Other 200 people, they have their videos on. Why? Because the principal said you have to attend this. So, okay, she's the one. What is her CV? Heard the CV? Or she's the one. Have seen her face. Shut down and go and do my own work. And on top of that, today is Sunday. How dare you take my whole day off? You know, on other days I am struggling with my children. So this is the kind of, attitude most of you will have. So this is what happens when you are this kind of a teacher in the classroom. Just you are giving a lecture style. You don't ask. If you ask your student, okay, Smita Joy, please answer. Only Smita Joy has the right to open the mouth. Okay, Rija Jafar, please answer. Only Rija Jafar has the authority to open the mouth. Everybody has to be silent. Think again. Are they listening? Think again. Are they involved? Listening comes later. First, you have to involve your children. That is why they say that when there is a 40 or 45-minute period in a class, how do you, first 3 minutes is every single day an icebreaker. Every single day, first 3 to 4 minutes you enter a class is an icebreaker. That icebreaker is good morning, sit down. So how have you been? Yesterday, Divya, you were absent yesterday. BG, what happened to you? Why are you pinching Sheila? You can go on, talk to the children. Break that ice in the class. And if they are making too much of noise, instead of teaching, if you start chatting, you will see how fast you can make them sit down and listen to you. And actually listen to you, not passive listeners, active listeners. So teacher, now this authority is, or the lecture style is the teacher-centered, frequently lengthy lectures, one-way presentations, just what I am doing. I do not preach this, but right now, thanks to the corona and the online classes, I'm practicing. I don't practice this at all, and I don't preach this at all. I am practicing, but I'm not a preacher of authority style lecture method. Okay, Asha, next slide, please. Next slide, Asha.
Ma'am, it's next slide.
Yes, it's come. Thank you. Demonstrator or coach style. This is the second style. Now, who is a demonstrator or a coach style? Coach style, you will find as it is actually named, coach. Have you seen the teacher, the PE instructors? Most of the time we call them coach, don't we? We don't, even children, they say coach. They don't even say sir sometimes or ma'am sometimes, they just say coach. Shows knowledge, includes activities and demonstrations. You will find coaches mostly in the play field because that is how a PE teacher teaches. A PE teacher will never sit on the chair like where I am sitting, or stand in front of the blackboard and tell you this is the way. A football coach will not say this is the way how you dribble a ball. Or the football coach will not say that this is standing at one place, will not say that this is how you form a wall in front of the goal to safeguard from the oncoming oncoming shot. So these are demonstrative ways. Demonstrators who are very good demonstrative teachers, all the co-curricular activities, they're always demonstrating. An art teacher, if they're doing some kind of an activity, they will do the activity and they will show it. If there is a brush stroke, they will do it 10 times and they will show it. So this is a demonstrator or a coach style. They are coaching all the time. Next slide, Asha. And it includes activities. There will be some kind of activity they will make the children do. If the coach is going to dribble the ball, the coach will tell the nuances of how to dribble the ball well. Okay, and so there will be demonstration. Next comes the facilitator or activity style. Now, who is a facilitator? You and I, as teachers, we are all facilitators. Promote self-learning, self-actualization, and critical thinking skills. Now, when I'm talking about self-learning, self-actualization, and critical thinking skills, I want to talk a little bit about Maslow. Any of you remember Maslow's theory? Anyone? Not a single hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Hierarchy of learning.
Yes. Very good. Excellent. Who's that, ma'am? If you answer, any one of you, ma'am, sir, any of you answer, please say your name and the name of the school. Who was that? Can you name your...
Yes, ma'am. I am from Kollam International Public School. My name is Cynthia Rajesh.
Thank you. Yes. There is a hierarchy of learning. Now, the hierarchy of learning is like a pyramid. All right. So, I would request you to pin me. So on your screen, on one side will be the slide, on the other side, I will be there. I am a very, very, what should I say, a bodily kinesthetic teacher. I use my hands, face, I do a lot. And that is what I always feel, attracts students also. If you're just passively sitting there and teaching, you know, after 2 minutes, they will go off to sleep. And I'll tell you, students have mastered the art of sleeping with their eyes open, like fish. Do you know fish sleep with their eyes open? They don't have eyelids. They cannot close their eyes, but they do sleep and they constantly move. So biology teacher can endorse what I am saying. Students have mastered that art. They will look at you, you know, with a beatific face, an angelic face, look at you, and you are thinking, oh my God, they are so good. They are all looking at me. They are sleeping with their eyes open. So when we are coming back to Maslow's pyramid of hierarchies, there's a pyramid. And there are 7 layers, if I'm not mistaken. If I am wrong, please correct me, because I am not sacrosanct and I am not God. Even God makes mistakes. So if I make mistakes, feel free to correct me. So promotes, there are certain steps. I am not going into Maslow's law of hierarchy. Some other day, if you all want, I can always, you know, have a full 1-hour lecture on Maslow's law of hierarchy, because I personally, there are certain laws which is like a Bible and a Gita and a Quran to me, and the Maslow's law of hierarchy is one. So there are certain ways, you know, where our questions can be made, certain ways we teach children. So there are certain, and the topmost, the pinnacle, the topmost is the critical thinking skills. That is the creativity. Okay, so a facilitator, a good facilitator will not only teach, but will teach in such a way that it will develop a child's critical thinking skills. The child will think, the child will wonder, make your child wonder. We don't have to have, you know, gallons and gallons of engineers and doctors in this country. We need to have people who study and do research. Today, Corona, yes, we thank the doctors, we thank the medicos, but who are the ones who's making the vaccine? Do you think it's the doctors who's making the vaccine? Are the medicos making the vaccine? No, they're all into research. And research is something which needs a lot of critical thinking. So let us make bunches of students who get into creativity and get critical thinking, and they ask questions. They dare to ask questions to their teachers. And as teachers, if we cannot answer, we can always say that, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'll get back with your answer tomorrow. We all have we are empowered. Those days are gone where we were not empowered. We all have a smartphone in our hands with an internet connection. We are empowered. It just takes a little bit of time to Google it, what the children, and do not negate children. If they say something, remember, our kids are way smarter than us. You know, there has been in the Harvard University, there has been a research, which I read quite some time back, a research on the IQ level. And it has been shown that with each passing generation, the IQ graph is going higher and higher. Our children have far better IQ and understanding capacity than you and I. So please do not negate what children say. If the children say something to you, accept it. You don't have to believe it. You can always accept it and tell them, okay, I'll get back. I'll read on this and I'll get back to you. So promote self-learning. Let us not make our children our clones. You know, we do that. We give them the question, we give them the answer, and then again in the class test, we make them do the same question and answer. And again, when the final exams come, we give the same question. So what are we promoting? Are we promoting self-learning? No, we are promoting memorization only. So that only just memorizing, you know, mugging up, is that a good thing to do? Because then they don't start self-learning, they don't do any critical thinking at all. Next slide, please, Asha. So we need to understand from all these things that there are so many different styles. And now we come to the fourth, delegator or group style. Best for lab activities and peer feedback activities. Please do a lot of peer feedback activities. And do a lot of peer correction. Please don't do, you can, as teachers, we can make our own lives way easier if we follow certain tactics and certain things in the class. Of course, when I'm talking about these things, I'm not talking about the pandemic situation. I'm talking about the situation which will be post-pandemic. So do a lot of peer correction and have faith in your children when the peer correction is happening. You tell them, you straight away tell them, that you are doing the corrections. So you look into it. I am not going to look into it, and be true to yourself. You will see most of them will do it correctly. Now, peer feedback activities. Can anyone over here tell me, have they done any peer activity in the class? Anyone? Any peer activity which you have done in class? Of course, pre-pandemic situation. Any peer activity you have done in class? Anything between one child and another child? Group activities? Anything? Any example you want to give? You know, if you don't speak, I will haul you up. No one. 300.
Ma'am, I am
Yes.
Geeta from St. John's. St.
Yes,
John's School, we have conducted several peer activities, quiz, another one debate. The peer, the students, they themselves have identified who is the best performer. Like that, we have conducted several activities.
Okay. Anybody else would want to share any peer activity they have done in class? Anyone of you? Any peer activity which you have done and you would want to share with us?
Hello, ma'am. This is
Yes.
Rahna.
Good morning, ma'am.
Madam, I'm from St. Anne's School, Ayur. We conducted role plays and end-word competitions.
I think two persons are, I can hear a female voice and a male voice. Yes, the male voice, can you continue?
Madam, my name is Anu Peter. I'm from St. Anne's School. We conducted role plays and end-word competitions between the students in the class.
Okay, and there was a female voice. Can you please say now?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Rahna. Actually, I'm from Delta Central School, Anjal.
Okay.
Actually, I was working in Bangalore earlier. So what we used to do there is we used to conduct the English enrichment classes. So we as a group, yeah. So as a group, we used to give a 10-letter, maybe a 3-letter word or a 4-letter word or a word starting from certain alphabets. So that was a very good competitive, and we could see that that bubbly, what do you say, those enriching faces. Okay, so that it was a very good activity. As a group oriented activities, they used to compete and they used to enjoy the class.
Very nice. So you see how, you know, through peer activity, we can, yes, somebody else wants to speak.
Ma'am, my name is Ambli Vijayan from St. John's School, Anjan. Ma'am, actually, there will be some slow learners in our classroom. No? Every classes, there will be some slow learners. So what I used to do is, I will make them a peer teaching by the bright students in the classroom. So actually, they will be more free to interact with friends and friends. No, so they will be some more free to interact with, and it was very useful for me, so that the bright students will come and contact with me. They talk to me what are the other students' problem and all, and they were and I used to get some more. I can some more understand the slow learner, so that I can also help them, and it was a very tremendous improvement in some of my students.
Yeah, I can understand. You know, you are absolutely right when you use this sentence that children become free with each other. That is very true. Sometimes children do not want to open up to a teacher, but they open up to their peers, to their friends. They open up and they say a lot of things. So that is also a very good tactics which should be used all the time, that you have for the children. You know, many schools have this, the children who are slightly slow or cannot, you know, pick up well. We make them sit with another child who is fairly good. So they help each other, and they learn a lot from each other. And that, apart from the academics, it also teaches the children to be very sympathetic, because we need children not to only to be, you know, we don't need to make our kids ready for a cutthroat world. We have seen what the cutthroat world can do to the world. I mean, we need to have a lot of empathetic and sympathetic, and we need to nurture and make a lot of empathetic and sympathetic children. So, and yes, so as I said, the delegator of the group.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I am Sujata from Delta Central School, Anchal. We gave clay modeling to enrich and clear and open their ideas and vocabulary.
Okay.
We are giving clay modelings in group peer group.
Okay, they are doing clay modeling in a group.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Of course, that will also, clay modeling in a group does not necessarily mean that academically they'll be becoming great. But yes, it's a very good icebreaker between people. And especially when these kind of group activities are given, make sure you put some children who have problems with the other children. Have you noticed that? There will be in class, 3-4 factions. Put them together in one project, and you see by the end of the project they become friends. Laila Udayan, I can see your hand raised. Yes, please. Laila, you want to speak? No. All right. So coming back to the delegator or group style, you will notice that these are best for lab activities and peer feedback activities. So please do these activities also. And the fifth one, next please, Asha, is the hybrid or blended style. Blends the teacher's personality and interest with students' needs. Now, when we are talking about any kind of teaching styles, a good teaching style should map the learning style of the learner. Okay. Now it is not possible. Why is it not possible? I am one single teacher. I have a particular personality and I have 30 or 40 or even 50 students in front of me. All right. So when there are some 50 students in front of me, what do? Can I change myself? Can I change my personality? No, I cannot change my personality. But what can I do? I can do various, I can keep on changing the way I teach. Now, when I say there are these 5 kind of common teaching styles, now do I mean to say I have to be only one type at the time? Is it possible? Anyone? Is it possible? No, it is not. I cannot be, because I will be all these 5 types depending on what? On the situation in the classroom. Suppose there is a big fight amongst 2 big boys in class 10, 11 or 12. Okay, 2, 3 boys. Over there, if you go and say, my boy, don't do it, do you think they will listen? That's when you have to be an authoritarian. Point number 1, style number 1. You will stop this right now. So you have to be an authoritarian at that point of time. So that is what we have to keep on changing. Suppose you are doing a drama. Can you sit on your chair and teach? This is the way you do. No, you cannot. You need to be a facilitator at that point of time. So, and of course, the hybrid or the blended style is the one which we should be using most of the time. Most of the time, we have to blend the teacher's personality and interest with the student's needs. We have to check these and we have to do it accordingly. And we have to do it accordingly. Now, it is very important to understand that what is my style. You have to see yourself, what is your style of teaching. So is your style of teaching very authoritarian, like a Hitler, or is your style of teaching more democratic, like a hybrid kind? Number 5 is hybrid, is more democratic teaching. So are you a very democratic teacher? It is good to be at least 50% of the time a democratic teacher. The other 50% of the time, you have to go in and out of all the other modes. Asha, next one, please. Now, I think this you can read, all of you. I'm just going to, quickly read methods of teaching. There is a traditional method of teaching and there is an inquiry method of teaching. Now, I cannot say that today we cannot use traditional method of teaching. We have to use inquiry method of teaching 100% in the class. No, it cannot happen. There are certain portions which we have to teach in a traditional method. There is no way out. Now, what is the traditional method? Teacher gives information. Traditional method, as you know, is teacher-centered teaching. Traditional method is teacher gives information, pupils repeat what the teacher says, teacher gives information, pupils repeat what the teacher says, teacher asks pupils questions about information, pupils answer by reading something off the board or from a book. Pupils are only assessed after the lesson or unit with the written test. Mark, traditional method has the written test assessment only and nothing else. Pupils are all expected to learn in the same way. Work individually, they work individually. They do not work. There is no peer activity, there is no group activity, there is no peer feedback, nothing. Pupils are expected to learn in the same way. Now, when pupils are expected, students are expected to learn in the same way, how do we deal with them? As if 40 kids in my class, all 40 kids are the same. Is it so? Are 40 kids the same? In our own house, brothers and sisters fight. In our own house, husbands and wives, we are married for 20, 20, 35, 30 doggone years, staying together, still we fight, don't we? So why? Why do we do that? Because we are not the same. Our own children, our own blood and flesh, our own children has such different personalities. So how can we expect that 40 kids in the classroom will be teaching in the same way? Will be learning in the same way. And I teach in one method only and they have to learn it. So that's a very traditional and a very wrong concept, a very archaic concept. And we have to move out of that archaic concept. Work individually. You have to work individually. Think, in a classroom, you are making the child work individually all the time. In society, do children work individually, people? Do we? Right now, are we working individually? No, we are not. We are always together, running a school, being in the staff room, in an office, everywhere. We are constantly working together. Even homes, even our homes, we are working together. Children who has had the upbringing in a school or a home, children, I'm saying small ones, where they have realized, where the adults have realized the importance of making children work together, these children are way more better adjusted when they become adults, whether in their family life or whether in their workplace or with their friends. These three are very important in each of us: our family life, our workplace life, and our life with our friends. Anybody who, if we involve people with people, we have more and more interpersonal relationship, we grow that. And when we do that, we find these children grow up to be more adjusted and adjusting adults. And then, even in families, there's so many fights, there's so many problems. They learn. There will be fights. We are all human beings. We all have different personalities, different way we have grown up. Everything, our genetic factors are different. We will have fights, but you will also learn to solve the fights. It is not the problem which is the problem. It is solving in which is the problem. How to solve it. So that is why we should allow our children to interact more in the classroom amongst themselves and with the teachers. If the teacher, number 10, if the teacher taught the information, it is the pupil's job to learn it. I have taught you, you have to learn it. These are the traditional methods. Now coming to inquiry method. Teacher introduces a topic or idea. Teacher shares some of his or her thinking and understanding of the topic. Some, not everything. I am a teacher does not mean my words are sacrosanct. As I said, I am not God. There is no need to play God in the classroom. I am God and you have to listen to me. As I say, God also makes mistakes. So that's why I am saying that we have to look into it time and after what is my teaching style and how am I reaching my students. Teacher shares some of her thinking and understanding of the topic. Teacher models how to make connections between the topic and what he or she already knows. Your previous knowledge, connecting the previous knowledge, it's so important. We have to connect the previous knowledge. And then teachers ask questions that begin with, please do take a shot of the screen and please do it. What do you think about? How do you feel about? How do you know if child says something? And even if you know it, just, oh, you know this? How do you know? Tell me you're thinking about, I know you're thinking about something, Asha. What are you thinking about? Bensi, I know there is something going on in your mind. Come on, say, what do you think? You know, you can always talk to children and ask them these things. Teacher scaffolds learning. Does anybody know the meaning of the word scaffold or scaffolding? Have you ever heard the word? Do you know the meaning? Anyone? Anyone? Scaffold. Yes.
Caring.
It is what should I say? It's not a literal meaning. What you are saying is very much almost correct. But I want the literal meaning of the word scaffolding. Do you know anyone?
Ma'am, supporting, ma'am.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So I'll tell you what is a scaffold. Have you seen when a structure is being made, a building is made? Have you seen with bamboos outside, they make those, a sort of a structure, and the people who work, they get up on those bamboo structure and they start working. Have you seen? I'm sure you must have seen those. Those are known as scaffolding. It can be done with bamboos. It can be done with iron girders, iron rods or anything. That is scaffolding. So a teacher's job is to scaffold the learning. Means a child, there is a lot of knowledge already in the child. There is a lot of knowledge the child is imbibing from you and other teachers also. So you are going to scaffold the learning. You make sure that what the child knows, and you are building a sort of a structure and helping that child to grow. Okay, like a building which grows. So there is a scaffolding, and there are people who help to for that building to grow. So you should be that scaffolding that learning. You should not put whatever you know into their brains. This reminds me of a saying by Rabindranath Tagore. I'm sure you've understood by now why that's my surname, that I am a Bengali. So, and of course, I read a lot of Tagore. I cannot tell you exactly the words what he said, but he said something like, do not teach children what you know with only your knowledge, because your knowledge is one generation old. You are one generation older. You are bringing up students for the future generation. Is it clear to you? Did you understand what I said? So it's something like this. I am a teacher. I am standing here. What is my knowledge? My knowledge is from one generation previously, because my teachers taught me with their knowledge. So my knowledge is full of that. And I am teaching a generation right now, which is who's going to be in the future. So do not restrict your students' learning to your knowledge. Don't do it. My knowledge is not sacrosanct, because my knowledge is already one generation old. And I am teaching children of the future. Just imagine 3 years back, did we know anything about Corona? 3 years back, could you and I have thought that I would be interacting with 300 teachers like this? Or you would be teaching your students like this? Did you know that? We did not. So we have to make our children future ready. And if we want to make our children future ready, we have to scaffold their learning and not put in what we have into their heads. So we have to, and this is the crux of NEP 2020. If you go through NEP 2020, you will realize NEP 2020 is constantly saying, get away from the old system of learning. So, very recently, Delhi Public School had organized a sort of an online symposium with 2 teachers, one principal and one teacher from Finland. And so all the principals of DPSs all over the world, we were attending that symposium. So these 2 ladies, one was a principal in Finland and one is a teacher from Finland. And you must have heard that Sweden, Finland, all their Denmark, their teaching system, we are imbibing. Everybody's trying to get into it. So, one of them had actually come to India and had been to many schools. And it was so pathetic when she was saying that most of the schools that she went to, they still have such traditional method of teaching, and that the teachers never questioned them. Even if they questioned them, it is straight from the book. They wanted the answer what is in the book or whatever the teacher taught, they want that same answer. So where are we building a future generation when we expect them to learn exactly what I know? If I am living in this 20th century knowledge, if I am living with my 20th century knowledge, how am I bringing up and building a 21st century child? So we need to think into all these things. And pupils are actively involved in the learning. You have to, imbibe that curiosity. We have to get the curiosity. Pupils are encouraged to work together. Again, peer activity, very important activities, group. This is why CCE was brought in, so that children know how to do group presentation. Most of the time in most of the big companies, they do work in group presentation. And the children, if they learn in school, they can adjust and contribute better in their workplace. Doctors, a surgeon does not work alone in the surgery. A surgeon has at least a team of 5 to 6 people plus another 10 students who come and watch the surgery of the senior surgeons. So you have a group of 15 people inside the surgery, inside the OT, operation theater. So isn't that group work? Everywhere in the staff room, aren't you doing group work? Everywhere it is group work. Then why don't we teach our children in the classroom to do group work? Asha, next slide, please. Thank you. Now, teaching style and strategy. If you look at this, you will learn what is the average learning retention rate. How you teach has a direct contact with the retention rate of the child. So if you teach in a very boring way, your voice not going up, you have no body language, you think the child will be able to retain, or if you're not doing any activity, if you're not taking your children outside the classroom, you think they can retain? They cannot retain. So please look into this. Look at this. I will come from top, from the pinnacle, I will come down. Lecture method, only 5%. If you just stand in front of the class or sit on your chair and teach, and you have no involvement of your students will only retain 5% of what you have said. Reading, if you read out nicely, they will retain. If the children or whoever, they read themselves, they will retain 10% of it. Audio visual, the reason why we have smart boards today in that classroom. Because if you have audio, have you noticed children when they watch TV, all those cartoons, they can remember so well. They will say 3% or 4% dialogue, they will say a 3-year-old, 4-year-old. Have you noticed that? 3%, 4%, everybody's dialogue and everybody's acting, they will do it. Why? Because the audiovisual impacts what? What is the audiovisual impact? Your auditory skills, that is the hearing skills, your visual skills, and you are also speaking out. When the audio visuals are there, we smile, we sing along, we say certain things. So there are 3 faculties of 3 sensory organs which are constantly being used. And then demonstration. If you show something, how children are so fond of going to the labs. Have you noticed? Even if they are not doing anything, somebody is doing something in the lab, they're so fond of it. Demonstration. You demonstrate, they will remember 30% of it. And then the discussion group. When there is a group discussion, you ask the children to participate in the class, form small groups and give them topics and ask them to discuss amongst themselves. Then there will be a retention of 50%. Practice by doing, make them do it, 70%, 75% they can retain, and teaching others, 90%. Why do you think we become, experts after teaching one single class after 2-3 years? Because we've been teaching the same thing and we become experts. 90% of it we can retain. We don't even need a notebook. Now, if you watch me, I have a PowerPoint presentation, you must have noticed. And the PowerPoint presentation does not have too much of writing. Have you noticed that? But I am constantly going on and on and on. Why am I doing it? Because I've been saying these kind of things for the last 20 years of my life as a resource person. So teaching is, so that is why somebody said that I made the brighter child sit with another weaker child, and it does a lot of good. It does good to both the persons. The child who is teaching retains is better, and the child who is receiving finds it nice because the child is receiving from his or her friend. Asha, next slide, please. I have half an hour more, so I think I'm quite on time. Now, if you notice, there are 5 circles, all right? One is direct instruction, the other is indirect instruction, experiential learning. CCE brought in the experiential learning. NEP 2020 is again talking about experiential learning in a major way. Independent study. We have to teach our children to study themselves and find facts for themselves. And interactive instruction. Interactive instruction is, debates, discussion, panel, creating panels in the class. And, online, in the online classes also it is possible. My teachers are doing it. They are doing a lot of group discussion, a lot of these interactive instruction. They are doing a lot of it even through online classes. Can anyone tell me anything about interactive instruction? I will give you 1 minute to go through each circle. I will not read. You can see it yourself. And if you want, you can click a picture so that you can remember. These are the instruction skills: direct instruction, indirect instruction, experiential learning, independent study, interactive instruction. These are all instruction skills. And beneath that, there are so many things that you can do. And if you notice, these are overlapping and within one circle, because you have to do all of it. It's not that you will only do direct instruction or I will only do experiential learning. It's not possible. It depends on the topic you are teaching, the subtopic you are teaching, and you keep moving from one to another and you understand what is to be done. I want someone to say something about interactive instruction that they have done during the pandemic, during online classes. Anybody has done anything?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Is it Geeta?
Ma'am, this recent time, our class 6th, I arranged a virtual trip program to class 6 students, a virtual trip to hill stations. Especially, we have selected 5 places: Shimla, Darjeeling, Munnar, like that. So after they have made this trip, and I have made a group, 5 groups to one place, like that. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Ma'am, can you hear?
And they
Hello?
Yes, there's a little lag, but yes, Geeta, I can hear you. There is a little lag, but I heard
yes, ma'am. So after I selected 5 students to one place. Okay. After these students, they made the virtual trip. These 5 groups, they have made a video conference and they have shared, because these 5 students, same spot, they have collected different information. So they have made an interaction about the sport, what they have selected. And from their interactions, they have shared a lot of ideas. Because if Darjeeling, the 5 students selected, one person's whatever they collected, the other person, their collection, something different. So after their interaction, they have shared a lot of information. It was very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. See, so that this is a living example that even through online teaching, these kind of exercises, these kind of activities is possible. You just have to be 2 things. You have to think a little and you have to be interested in doing it. Anybody else? Just like Geeta shared. Thank you, Geeta. That was a lovely exercise. I will also tell my teachers to do this. Anybody else? Anything else?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please. Your name, please, and school.
I am Bobby Jacob from Marthoma Center School, Ayur.
Okay.
We have arranged one virtual trip like this, as the ma'am told. We have arranged one virtual tour and asked the students to collect various ideas about the places we visited.
Okay. So you will see, you will notice that these kind of things are done. Even in my school, they are showing museums and many things they are showing, and they are having discussion and class debates after giving these virtual trips. So do give your children virtual trips. Okay, now I want you to do something. You've been sitting down for a very long time. Why don't you stand up? Stand up. You don't want to stand up? Okay, you can. If you don't want to stand up, you can jump like this. Put your hand up and jump. Just sitting and do this, jump. Okay, sit up and sit down. Okay, that's a jump. Good, good, good. Can you scratch like a monkey? Scratch yourself like a monkey. Do it, do it, do it. I want all the videos on. I want all the videos on. I'm watching you. I'm scrolling through. Scratch yourself like a monkey. Okay. Twirl. Can you go around? Stand up, go around, and come and sit down again. Get up, get up. Get up. Come on, get up. Don't be lazy. Go around once and sit down again. I'm watching who's doing and who's not doing. Okay. Next is play the air guitar. Can you play the air guitar like a real rock star? Yeah, play the air guitar like a real rock star. Do it, do it, do it. Yes, I can see quite a few doing it. Yes. Stand on one foot. You're sitting. At least put up one foot. Do that. I can't see it, but do it. Do it. Okay. Run in your place. Run, 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 jog. Come on, do it, everybody. Run in your own place. Sit and do running. Okay. Do sit-ups on your chair. Get up and sit down. Get up and sit down. Why did I make you do this? Anyone? Come on. Why did I make you do this?
Warm up. You're listening or you have a formal.
Yes, Sheila.
To make us, excuse me, ma'am. I am from St. Mary's Bedri Central School, Valagam. To make us active, you have done it. Isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you do this with your children? Do you do this with your children?
Yes.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
oftenly.
Yes.
Yes, we will also
ma'am.
do it.
Yes, ma'am. We do it. Yes, ma'am. We often do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please do it
Yes,
during
yes.
the online class also. It takes only 2 minutes. It takes
Okay,
only
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And we are all
Yes,
old
ma'am.
foggies, you know, we are all old people. It's so difficult for us to get up. But for children, it does not take much time to get up. It just takes 2 minutes, they will do all these things. Yeah, I can hear a cockatoo. Okay, in 2 minutes, they will perform all these activities. We need to. This is also a style of which teaching? Who can tell me?
Interactive
teaching.
Interaction section.
Interactive
teaching. Interactive teaching.
My God, that hen or cock has woken up at 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Love is very important. Humor, laughter in classroom is very important. It really does a lot of bonding between the teachers. It is very important. Oh God. It's got she or he has more things to say than I have, it seems. Anyway, Asha, next slide, please. So it is important to do this because this is also a style of teaching. You know, this is make them active, make them do something. Okay, now I move on to learning styles of children. Next slide, Asha, please. So we, as I said before, the teaching style and the learning style has to corroborate. It has to be together. Okay, so the learning and the teaching style should be together. But it is not possible. It is really not possible. I am one human being and I am catering to 40 kids in my classroom. How can I be different? But it is our trial and errors which we have to do. And I always say one thing, if you have 40 kids in your classroom, you will notice that there are about 25 kids in your classroom who are okay. They are not too intelligent. They are not too bad. There will be 5 to 6 students in your classroom. They are very good at studies. And you will have another maybe 7 or 8 who will be very weak for some reason or the other. There can be many reasons. There are many intelligent children, but they do not perform well in class. But we have to give a little bit of attention to when we teach, we actually teach for this middle level 25 kids. But we have to give a little bit of more attention to this group of the genius or very intelligent, and this group which needs a lot of care, a little bit extra care. We have to do that. And we have to find ways and means and, strike a judicious balance in the classroom. Now I come to Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. As I was telling you about Maslow's law And there are certain, I swear, I really swear by, is also Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Next one. You have heard about, next slide, Asha, please. You must have heard about Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence. For a very long time, we thought that any child who can memorize well and produce that well, they are very good students for a very long time. Till Howard Gardner said that there is not one kind of intelligence. He said there are 8 kinds of intelligences. All right. I will start with bodily kinesthetic. Have you seen this? Have you read this in your BEd? You must have. Yes? Can I hear a few yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Pressure. Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All
ma'am. Yes,
teachers.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Most teachers know it. Most teachers, it's just a refresher, 2-minute refresher for you. Because I'm going to run short of time otherwise. One is bodily kinesthetic, that is smart, body smart. There are children who like to do a lot of activities. They are the best in the sports field. They are very good with drawing. They are very good in the lab classes. They are very good at music. Bring these activities inside your normal classes as well, because you have to keep them active. Interpersonal space, people smart. These are the people who become resource persons like me, or there are politicians. They're very, people smart. They know how to talk to people. They know how to get there are HRs. I have my HR sitting over here, human resource people, development people. So they are very good at talking. And teachers, we have to be very good at interpersonal skills. Otherwise, we fail as teachers. No amount of our knowledge and degree can save you from being a bad teacher, unless and until your interpersonal skills are good. Then verbal linguistics, smart, word smart. These are the children who are very good at debate. They're very good at answering. There are some children, they write the answer very well. They cannot, say or speak. And there are some children who speaks very well. So these are the verbal linguistic. And then we have logical, mathematical. They are very logic smart. When we talk about logic smart, we understand there is a difference between a logical smartness and a calculative smartness. I'll tell you the difference in mathematics. There is something known as 2 + 2 is 4. All right. Everybody knows. You can, even if you think that I am going to be, very, very innovative, even if you are trying to be very innovative, you cannot make 2 + 2 into, 3 and a 3/4. You cannot. It will remain as 4. You cannot make it 4.5. It will remain as 4. So 2 + 2 will remain as 4. So, but there is something as logic, where these children, those who are very good, I can give you the example of my daughter. My daughter, if I ask her that what is 320 + 402, she will immediately say, you have a calculator in your phone, do it. Okay. And she's actually bad at it. She cannot add up. And she's very bad at all this math. If I say when she was young, I used to tell her that you have to know tables till 25. You have to memorize tables till at least 25. She said, why? There is a calculator for that. I don't want to use my brain for that. But she is so good at logic. Now, what is logic? If I give her trigonometry math, okay, if she does not, she might not be able to calculate, but she will just look at it twice and she will tell you how to do it. But if she does it, and she will make errors in addition or subtraction or multiplication, in the basic arithmetic, she will make errors. And then this is what we have to develop, the logic in the child, just not the arithmetic qualities of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We have to, and logic is done only when we do the problems, we make them think. We make them think. And that is the reason why CBSE was the first board in India who came up with part marking in maths. Do you know there is in maths, there's a part marking? Before there was no part marking. Before the marking was, they used to see only the result. If the result answer is correct, the full, even if it's a 10-mark question, if the answer is correct, the child gets 10. They never used to bother about the steps. If the answer is wrong, 0. That's when CBSE realized that there are children who are not, there are many dyslexic children who are very good at math, but you ask them to do 2 + 2, they will not be able to do it. So this is the difference. And so math teachers, whoever you are over here as a math teacher, please develop the logic, because when they sit for TOEFL, when they sit for SATs, when they sit for the GMATs, when they sit for their IIT entrances, It's more of logic than simple math, simple arithmetic. So please learn to develop their logic from a child, from their time they're 1 or 2, class 1 or class 2. It is very, very important. Then coming to naturalistic, these children are very good with nature. A couple of years back, I went to US to my nephew, and my nephew's son was my grandnephew. He took me on a walk. He's in class 2, grade 2 at that point of time. He took me on a walk in the neighborhood. You will not believe, there were at least 6 trees he could name. He said, this is an oak, this is a fir, this is a birch. And he was telling me, do you know the difference between a fir and a birch? Grade 2 child. And he picked up stone and he showed me a stone, and there were, some glitters. He said, there is something. He said mica or something. I don't even remember. He said, that is why this stone is glittering. So can you imagine how the teachers teach them in the neighborhood? And they always believe in local to global. They teach the neighborhood first. They know the trees in the neighborhood. They know the pebbles and the kind of minerals which is present in the neighborhood. They know what water bodies are there in the neighborhood. They know all these things. So this is naturalistic, making them nature smart. And then it's self-smart. You have to know about yourself. I have to know how much I can go in something, how much I can do. It is important. And then picture smart, that is the visual spatial children. Visual spatial is they are the ones who are good geologists. They are the one who are the good cartographers, means they make maps, they have a better idea about geography. Asha, next slide, please. Just have a look at this, then you will understand how the brain is divided. Everybody's brain is not sharp in each corner. Somebody's brain is a little, more developed in the interpersonal corner. Somebody's in the mathematical logical corner. Somebody's in the visual spatial corner. So we have these kind of learners sitting in our classroom. Asha, next one. Next slide, Asha. Now I'm coming to us. Asha, just a second. Don't show that one. Okay. Now I'm coming to a more smaller form of the 8 forms that I have just shown. Howard Gardner has said 8 forms. This is known as VARK, V-A-R-K. Has anybody heard about VARK? Has anyone? This is not so popular.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
reading your writing. Okay,
Audio. Yes.
No, there are 4 kinds. VARK. One is the visual, one is the oral, one is the read write, and one is the kinesthetic. Yes. Asha, can you show the slides below? Visual. What is the visual? People with strong visual preference for learning, like different formats, space, graph, charts, diagram, maps, and plans. These are visual learning. This is the reason why even in English in class 11, 12 paper, the comprehension passage is different from this year. Is there anyone over here who teaches class 11, 12 English? Anyone over here? Have you checked the new pattern of the question paper? The comprehension passage will have charts, diagrams, maps, plans, and children have to read and interpret. So please be careful. Get your children to do that right from class 11. Oral. People with strong oral preferences for learning, like discussions, stories, guest speakers, chats, all those things. Read, write. People with strong read-write preference for learning, like lists, notes. They can read and write and they can retain better. Next one, kinesthetic. People with strong kinesthetic preferences, they only do things through practicals. Asha, next slide. Examples, causes, cases, trials, debating, speeches, they do better. So basically, I have come to the end of my my session. And these are so kindly try to incorporate the VARK in your classroom. It is not very practicable to do Howard Gardner's 8 multiple intelligence, but you have to understand there are 8 kinds of intelligence, or 9. Now today's world, they say there are 9 kinds of intelligences sitting in your classroom. Okay, so if not everything, try to incorporate the work, because these are the 4 main things how children learn. So I come now at the end, I want to show you a small video how a teacher can push a child and what a difference it can make. But it is not a child or a teacher which will be shown over here. It'll be, maybe you have seen this video. It's a very old and common video. So Asha, can you start the video, please? Lisa, you have to mute your button. Unpin me, then you can see the video properly in your whole screen. Don't pin me, unpin me if you know how to do that. It's just a 3-minute video. Asha, can we start? There's something wrong. In the meanwhile, there is a attendance cum feedback form in the chat box. Kindly fill that in the meantime. This is the power of encouragement. we realize how important, next slide, Asha, please. So we realize how important it is to push our children to be independent. So let us not teach them to mug up only. It is very, very important that they become independent. Next slide, Asha. Next slide is basically a question answer. Is there any question that you would like to ask me? We have 3 minutes. Anything, anyone? I guess no. All right, Asha. Next slide. Last slide, please. Thank you very much for being wonderful listeners. I hope some of you have heard me, though I've seen many of the videos were switched off throughout. And I thank each one of you for being patient, for being a patient listener. And I thank DPS. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying DPS Kollam. I thank the Kollam Sahodaya for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. And maybe on better times, we'll be able to meet in person and with a lovelier interaction. And you've been wonderful people. Thank you so much. God bless and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Please don't go away. Please don't go away. Wait, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please
Thank you,
wait.
ma'am. Very much.
I invite Cynthia Rajan teacher to propose vote of thanks. We will have an official vote of thanks session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me,
There is,
everyone.
I think there is a vote of thanks. I think there is a vote of thanks. Someone is trying to say, kindly mute your.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, everyone. Let me do my duty. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Resource Person, Ms. Abak Chatterjee, respected office bearers of Kollam Sahodaya, Honorable Chairman of Karikim International Public School, Honorable dignitaries, all teachers, I, on behalf of Karikim International Public School and the entire supporting team, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the dignitaries to raise this occasion. It's a great honor for all of us to have this much experienced, passionate master leader as of today's resource person. The session was lively, novel, informative, and entertaining. Thank you very much, ma'am. I express my sincere thanks once again. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation for Kollam Sahodaya manager, Father Dr. G. Abraham Talotil, General Secretary Balgopal Sir, Treasurer Father Vincent Carrickle, all executive members of Kollam Sahodaya, hats off to come up with this extraordinary effort and sincerity towards the educational field. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the chairman of KIPS, Honorable Dr. Abraham Karikam, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. I would like to thank all the teachers present here, the torchbearers of the nation. And I must thank Almighty God for giving us these opportunities. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the participants,
Thank you, ma'am.
for the attention of all participants, please remember to fill the feedback
Thank you,
form.
ma'am.
You, sir.
I hope you can hear me. Hello,
Yes,
all
yes,
participants.
yes.
All participants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please remember to fill the feedback form. You have 1 hour after the session to fill the feedback form. Feedback form will be closed after 1 hour, so please do it on time. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it was really exciting, madam. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Feedback form.
Please post the feedback form once again. Please post the feedback form once again.
One from me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
It's already there.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Feedback form is about a small, test of what I have done right now. If you want, you can fill that also.
Please copy to somewhere and later you can fill it. So we will be closing the meeting now. since we have another meeting in 30 minutes time.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We will
Well, I'm leaving the meeting then.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much, sir.
I'll call it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Abraham, sir. Now, okay, we can.
Yes.
We will end the meeting.
Yeah,
End the meeting and we shall.
Yeah, I will send the link to